Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my this lecture. So in our previous classes we discussed about the different market structure, and under different market structure we tried to explain what are the assumptions, and then demand curve especially, and price setting, how it happens in the perfect competitive market, and in contrast to that how it happens in the imperfect markets. And in discussing about the imperfect market conditions, and we had taken monopoly, and where we discussed how demand function and the price setting mechanism it happens. So while discussing that, we also tried to show that what is the profit and what is the kind of demand function and average revenue and marginal cost function looks like under monopoly. In this lecture, let us see how price elasticity, then demand and average revenue and marginal cost, how they are related, and what is the market power of the monopoly, and then how to measure the market power. Now let's talk about social cost of the monopoly power, like when monopoly will have the price setting mechanism and also have the market power. So what are the profit under monopoly, and then what are the social cost involved under monopoly. So we'll try to calculate profit and then deadweight loss. So let us draw a diagram with a graphical illustration. This will be much easier to discuss. So like say this is average revenue, which is demand curve, and then price and quantity is measured along with vertical and horizontal axis, and then this is our marginal revenue, and then see this is average cost, and this is marginal cost, which also can be regarded as a supply curve. And then we have couple of points here, as we know, like the first is like for any firm, whether it is perfect competitions or monopoly or any other imperfect markets, the objective for any producers or any firm is to maximize the profit, and then profit maximization conditions is the point at which marginal revenue will be equals to marginal cost. So like here, like price where marginal revenue and marginal cost is equals to each other, and then along with this, say in this point A, at point A we see the price under monopoly that is set at PM, and then quantity that is set at equilibrium A is like QM. So OQM is the quantity produced under monopoly. OPM is the price is set under the monopoly, and say this is the point B. And then let us also try to find out where is the price under the perfect competition here. So average revenue like demand and marginal cost, which is supply, and then they are intersecting at each other at say point E, and this is the price under perfect competitions, and you can see this is the price and quantity under perfect competitions, right? So and then in principle we know that price under monopoly is higher than price set under the perfect competitions, and we also know that quantity produced under monopoly will be less than the quantity under the perfect competitions, and that's why under monopoly price, under monopoly conditions, or the market price will go up, but then quantity will go down. Under perfect competitions, price will go down, but then quantity will be more produced in the market. So now let us see what is the profit under monopoly. So here we also have to see, like we can take a different color here just to highlight. Like here under average revenue is here at point B, and then average cost under monopoly is here at point, say at point C, and then across this point, like say we get the P1. So profit is like of course B, like average revenue is higher than, like average revenue is higher than average cost. So if average revenue, if average revenue is higher than average cost, is of course the profit conditions. And then here, so profit, which is the area, is like black shaded area, and this area is PM, P1, C and B, right? So now what is the deadweight loss? So deadweight loss, like as we said, in principle under monopoly price will be higher and quantity will be less that will be produced in the market, and of course economy has the potential and therefore economy can produce up to OQC amount, but under perfect competitions, where equilibrium is happening here, where we can actually see that there is no surplus, there is no shortage, and then what is the wrong in producing at that point. But then it is also not I mean, we also know that it is not always wise that market equilibrium will work quite well. Although consumer can get maximum consumer surplus, and at equilibrium point that producer will have maximum level of producer surplus, but then it is not be viable for the society. Maybe there is a social cost, and then we already discussed in our in our one of the previous lectures, where we discussed by introducing the tax, like through the government interventions. So although at the equilibrium it is wise that one can have there, but then there is a social cost involved, and therefore with the help of taxes consumer surplus can be reduced and also producer surplus can be reduced. So at this point, like if we are going ahead with the monopoly production, and then way to produce, then some quantity will be reduced and price will be higher, then therefore definitely some amount of loss, like social loss, that we get it, and that is the deadweight loss. And let us see what is the deadweight loss here. So here you can see the deadweight loss, the area that we can see, like area under this red dotted area, like so the loss that we get it from the consumer side, like consumer losses, like B, E, and then this point, and then loss from the producer side is A, E, and this side. So therefore the total area for the deadweight loss is A, E, B area, right? So this is the area under deadweight loss. So now if we can just have a little more explanation here, like from the consumer surplus and producer surplus, like say this one is the demand here, and this like say age. So earlier at equilibrium point E, the consumer surplus was D, PC and E, and producer surplus was PC, H and E. But then under monopoly, since price has gone up, and therefore consumer surplus also has also reduced, and consumer surplus, loss of the consumer surplus is D, PM and B, and also B and then this dotted area and E. So this is the in the loss, the loss of the consumer surplus, like loss from consumer surplus. So we can clearly see the deadweight loss here under the monopoly as compared to production. Production happens under the perfect competitive farm. So now let's move further with the natural monopoly. So natural monopoly is the situation where farm or single farm or single organization, and that could be also government, can produce the entire output of the market at a lower at a cost lower than what it would be if there were several farms. So in place of several farms, if single farm or any organization like government on behalf of the farm can produce the entire, it in a way it is a market power. But then here market farm or organization, in case of government, so they are possessing the market power for the quantity produced. So so let us discuss graphically. So before coming to natural monopoly, so in natural monopoly there are one conditions, like of course the economies of scale. Under economies of scale it will happen, but then under economies of scale, where we know that average cost and marginal cost both will be falling. So that's what we say about natural monopoly. So these will be the conditions. So let us draw, like say same, like say price and quantity. Here is the demand, like average revenue, and here marginal revenue, which is the half of the average revenue, and here it is your average cost, and then here we have marginal cost, and both are falling because of the economies of scale. So first point of the profit maximization conditions, where average revenue and marginal revenue intersect at each other, that is the first order condition, like say at point say A, at point A, and we can see is the price where marginal revenue and marginal cost, they are equals to each other, and at this point corresponding to point A, we get PM, and PM is the price fixed under monopoly, and QM we get total quantity produced under monopoly. So the other conditions is like where marginal where marginal cost, which is like price level, let's say we can also consider as this as our supply curve of the farm. So here at say point B, at point B we get like price equals to marginal cost, which is actually the conditions for the perfect competitions, like PC, and the quantity that we get is like QC. So if we see that OQC is much higher than OQM, because it's a natural, like quantity produced under perfect competition will be much higher as compared to quantity produced under monopoly. In case of price, price set under monopoly will be much higher, like OPM will be much higher than OPC, right? So now under the natural monopoly, so like here the gap is too far, like here, like if you can see, like the gap between QC and QM, quantity gap is too high, and also price gap, like the range between PM and PC is quite high. So in the natural justice in the market, so here the market under the national monopoly, the market will be set at the mid ground, where average revenue will be intersecting with the average cost. So here the firm, a single firm or the government will try to look at a condition where average cost will be maintained and average revenue will be maintained. And at this point, like at point C, where average cost and average revenue, they are meeting at each other, at that point quantity will be produced, like say here Q natural monopoly, QNM, and then price will be PNM. So you can see PNM, like natural price set under natural monopoly, which is certainly higher than perfect competitions, but certainly lower than price set under monopoly. On the other hand, quantity produced under national monopoly is definitely higher than quantity produced under monopoly, but certainly less than quantity produced under perfect competitions. So in perfect competitions, definitely the quantity will be produced at much larger scale, but then price will be determined at the lower level. In case of price under monopoly, quantity will be less, substantially less as compared to monopoly, and then the price will be much higher as compared to price set under perfect competitions. So under natural monopoly, price and quantity will be in between, price and quantity determined in monopoly and perfect competitions. So I'll stop here, and these are the 3 references I have used in this particular lecture. So thank you very much for your kind attention, and I look forward to meet you in my next lecture.